What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to episode number 493 of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast, Hot Tags of the Week, where we break down some of the current events, rumors, news, gossip, and other things that have happened in the world of pro wrestling over the past few days that we feel like talking about. I'm Tony Mango, and I've got with me Robert DeFelice.
Hey, Tony. It's Friday night.
It is Friday night.
Saturday morning.
Yeah, technically it's 12:54 a.m. You might be able to tell by my tone, and I apologize for this, not in a good mood. Not in a good mood at all, and it has nothing to do with pro wrestling. I'll just say it on the website. Blogger, Google, these websites, they suck. And they seem to think that there are problems on my sites about malware. Now, please let me know if you've ever come across any malware on these websites. I know that I have never installed malware on these websites, but according to Google, they think that that's the truth. And a couple pages have been deleted. And for all I know, by the time you're listening to this tomorrow or so, both websites might be down forever. So hopefully that's not the case. I have no means of knowing what the issue is and how to fix the non-issue according to Google, because Google registers this as having no security issues whatsoever. Yet at the same time, your site's full of malware and we got to get rid of it and whatever. So
Now, to be clear, they didn't tell you to get rid of the site. They told you to get rid of several posts.
yeah, 6 different pages on there, but we never know if that's going to be the type of thing where they're going to just manually delete multiple other ones throughout the time, or if that's
Correct,
it.
but I'm trying not to steer people in the direction of, oh, that's just it, folks.
It might be. To be perfectly honest, if they end up deleting everything where I'm not restarting from scratch. So I don't know. If you want to do me a favor, everybody, you can tweet at Google and whatever and retweet my tweet of me being like, hey,
Fuck you.
the fuck, you know. But I don't know if that's going to help. I don't know. Blogger and Google, they don't help with anything with these sorts of things. So, you know, I apologize for my tone for this episode. I was thinking about not even doing this episode just because I'm too frustrated. But I figured, you know what? That's not fair for everybody that would be wanting to listen to it. I just kind of can't put on a happy face right now. So my tone's not going to be as super jokey. I apologize. Standard operating procedure, though, outside of that, drop your comments below. Tell us your thoughts on what we got that we're talking about here. Check out the merchandise shops, TeePublic and Redbubble. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, hit the applause button, especially because we don't know if we're going to have ads on, or we're not even going to have a website anymore. But that might help out a lot. Go to patreon.com/smarkoutmoment and patreon.com/fanboysanonymous to help support things as much as you can. And obviously we understand that money's tight for everybody, but you know, if you do have a spare change, then that's greatly appreciated. And we'll talk about some other stuff a little bit down the line. But where do we want to start? I don't even know. Zelina Vega. Let's go with her.
Yeah, sure.
She is seemingly returning to WWE and possibly going to manage The Rock's daughter, Simone Johnson. Which
that was a Fightful. I always get stoked when they're a Fightful report. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? So my initial thought was, I don't know if I'm interested in her. Without Andrade, they were such a dream pairing. And then Sean posted the update of Simone Johnson. And I went, yep, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, there's this is melatonin, by the way, everybody. For the pill noise. It's not anything else. There is a connection between Simone Johnson and Zelina Vega between The Rock's movie Fighting With My Family. So they might just be buds.
And, I know Simone's done some modeling for Aleister Black's Black Mass clothing line.
Oh.
So they're just sort of cool, and I'm down for real relationships being presented on TV, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I really want to make sure that she's just popping around in NXT. I'd rather her be on the main roster.
Would you though?
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. I'd rather her be on the main roster and for everybody to have a much better job on the main roster. But I also kind of wanted her to go to AEW to help them out, so I'm a little bit disappointed with that, but I'm happier that she is going to be staying in WWE because I kind of ultimately want everybody to be in WWE, you know?
So it's more that merging for you, just
Just
put
easier
them
that
all
way.
under one roof.
A couple years ago before AEW, where everybody was like, well, it's WWE or nothing, and they were able to take everybody, I liked it.
You
So
know
they had
what?
everybody.
But I'll this sounds so terrible. I'll agree with you then, because it's just easier.
Because that was the time frame when NXT was just super hot. Like
And
you
for
had
whatever it's worth,
Joe and Balor and Adam Cole and, well, you still have Adam Cole, but you know what I mean.
the Young Bucks were more over back then on the independent scene because, you know, independent scene felt more like uh, a secret kind of.
Yeah, I like that time frame, and I want everybody to be in WWE, but more so I want them to make sure that they're all having good work and they're getting paid well and all the other things that go along with that. So I know obviously the more that you have like an AEW, the more that they can find better jobs and they can find better creative and they can do all this kind of stuff. But I kind of like the idea of Zelina Vega being back in WWE, and I don't know if I really like the idea of her being with Simone Johnson, but I also don't trust Simone Johnson to have The
On
Rock's
her own.
charisma, you know? So
I
she
don't know
might
if she
need,
needs to have The Rock's charisma. Like, The Rock isn't Soul Man Rocky Johnson, and he's definitely not High Chief Peter Maivia. You know, she needs to carve her own niche. It's sort of like Charlotte Flair, where like Charlotte Flair does have a lot of Ric Flair elements, but she's also a better shitbag than Ric Flair. Because like Ric Flair, even when he's a heel, he's making you laugh because you just want to party with this guy. Charlotte Flair has more of like the I'm entitled and better than you.
well, I mean, I don't think she needs to be The Rock, but I don't even know if she'll have the inherent skill, you know? She might need a manager.
As long as they're doing something with her. I was getting kind of worried that she was just going to be like, this is happening. Just kidding. No, it's not. You
Like
know?
Shaw.
Yeah.
I mean, Shaw tried. It's not like she just didn't do anything. We haven't seen a single thing from Simone. So she could be great, she could be awful. I don't know. I'm
Either way,
interested to
she's
see what they do.
WWE homegrown. Like The Rock. People forget. Rock's WWE homegrown. Rock was literally trained in a WWE warehouse and only went to Memphis because they had a working relationship with WWE. Rock is WWE homegrown.
That and he learned on the road.
Yeah,
You
which
know,
is
stories from Andre the Giant, everything.
oh yeah, Iron Sheik lived, visited his grandmother and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, people walking in on Macho Man having sex and stuff.
That I believe.
Yeah. But Zelina Vega's a thing. Velveteen Dream was reportedly backstage at Monday Night Raw, so he might be making the jump up to Raw or returning in some fashion at the very least. You think it's gonna end up
Now,
happening there?
okay, Velveteen Dream, much like Matt Riddle, it's one of those things where a certain section of the audience now, even if whatever they're accused of was to come back clear, a certain section of the audience is always going to see them as monsters, terrible. And for the record, wildly different cases between Riddle and Dream. But their Dream has been in case of fire, break glass on NXT. So whatever it is with Dream, they know enough to not put him on TV, but they also know that it's not bad enough to where they haven't fired him. You know?
Yeah.
So maybe they're putting him you put him on the main roster and he just either flourishes or sinks. Because, like, remember, I was the guy, and I'll fully admit this, who beat that drum of, I think it's stupid that Riddle's champion. People are going to boo him because speaking out. Nope, I was wrong, and I'll say I was wrong. Dead wrong. People love him. And you know what? Maybe Dream will be the same. Who knows?
He does seem to get a lot more hashtags against him, though.
Again, wildly different accusations, wildly different approaches to those accusations as well. For example, Dream has all but disappeared. Riddle directly addressed everything, continues to directly address everything,
Yeah.
and just goes on about his life. So maybe there's something there. I don't know. I wish we would know. It's one of those things where even if it was just, hey, we're not gonna fire him, stop fucking asking. We found out what he did and it's not illegal. I want them to say something so we have something to go off of. Because all we know is that he was accused of some heinous shit. He disappeared off social and just shows up whenever they need a guy, and then he fucking disappears again.
Yeah, and it's been a while since he's shown up, too. So there's rumors that he's in rehab, which if he is, for what? Is it for like a substance abuse thing? Is it for like a behavioral type of thing? Is it for a, there's
Uh,
multiple different types of rehab.
right.
And then he could not be in rehab. He had the back problem. He could be nursing an injury. He could be sitting at home eating Cheetos where they tell them, well, we'll just call you when we need you. He could be more of a Doritos guy.
It's,
It's probably the one joke I'm going to have this episode.
I don't like Doritos, so
Doritos are number one for me.
I'm more of a Cheetos guy.
Cheetos are like number two.
But
Kind of
like,
depends. It's that or barbecue chips.
but Dream is okay. Listen, for all of these superstars, I wish magically they were just absolved of their accusations and we could move on with our lives. But Dream is one of those guys who it's never gonna feel right again. You know?
Yeah.
Because even it's it's almost like Prince or Michael Jackson, where they're very sexual in their movements and in their nature. And like I don't know if I feel right watching it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he'd have to change up his character entirely because Michael Jackson never got out of that.
Right, and I never felt right watching him do the whole I'm gonna grab my crotch now. Like
Yeah.
it, it's rough, man. But whatever it is, I'm sure we'll find out eventually. Also, I want to bring this up. Keith Lee had tweeted out at some point over the last week. Uh, it's a make or break it time, something to that effect, where he's like, "This will decide a lot in the future." I hate that he's kind of hit a rough patch, and I wish him nothing but the best.
So I'm not going to jump on them yet, but there's 3 transitions that could have happened there. Grabbing your crotch, being rough, hitting a rough patch. We'll come back around to these. um,
Fair enough.
For a sponsorship ad in a little bit. There's a show coming to Peacock called WWE Evil. John Cena is going to be hosting it, and it's going to be diving into heels, which I think is pretty neat. I'm totally up for the idea of a TV show that basically just reports on psychology of villains in pro wrestling and everything.
I hope it's something like that. I hope it's good. Cause
Well, yeah.
I know that's just fucking no shit, Sherlock. But I like this has potential to be great, and it has the potential to be this vanilla thing you ever fucking do. And I hope they go with making it great.
I mean, vanilla is pretty great, especially with like soft serve.
No, but like here's the thing, vanilla needs like some fucking peanut butter cup or
It's infinitely
something.
helped out by what you put on it, yeah.
Yeah, like vanilla is great, but vanilla is a great base for better things.
my go-to ice cream. You get vanilla, soft serve. Hopefully in like a cup, so you got more than enough of the shit that you put on top of it. But I mean, a cone's great. And you put Reese's peanut butter cups
Yep.
and Butterfinger.
Yeah.
So you got like the big chunks of the Reese's peanut butter cups. You got the flakiness of the Butterfinger. Used to be chocolate ice cream with Nestle Crunch and Butterfinger. And
Hashtag snack talk, baby.
then I got to a point where I couldn't appreciate chocolate ice cream anymore. Very long story
Really?
short. I mean, very long story short. Went into the hospital at one point for an asthma attack and got put on this medicine that needed to be crushed and put on some kind of soft food. And as a kid, I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is fucking great. This is my excuse to eat ice cream.
And then you did it too much.
And for well over a decade, probably almost 20 something, maybe even 30 something years at this point. I don't remember how old I was when I did this whole thing. Chocolate ice cream tasted like that medicine.
That's terrible.
So I should have just eaten some fucking applesauce or something.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So I got in the habit of vanilla, and now vanilla is my favorite ice cream. So,
Respect.
shit happens. But this show on Peacock, I'm interested in it. I'll check it out. And hopefully it's one of those shows where they can dive really deep into some of these characters and break down some of the differences between like the different types of heels. Because you've got like a Ted DiBiase type, and then you've got an Umaga.
And then you've got a Kane.
Yeah, you got the monsters, you got the chicken shit heels, you got the arrogant people, you got the abusive authority figures like Vince McMahon. You got the people who are just heels because they back it up and they're arrogant, like a Charlotte Flair. I'm interested in the fact that it's John Cena that's hosting it too.
Yeah. But he's got a good narrator voice.
I don't know if I've ever heard him do anything like that, other than maybe like a commercial here and there. He's
Ever
on
heard him,
some
like,
commercial now these days. I forget exactly what it is.
and he does the hefty commercials. He does the peanut commercials. Remember he's the elephant?
Oh yeah, the pistachios or something, I think.
Yeah.
Good nut.
He does. I, oh God. um, yeah, I like Cena. I want Cena back in wrestling. I just want him, like, I think the product would be exponentially helped if he was back for like a year.
Wouldn't hurt. That's for sure.
No, because he's an actual star.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He can cut a promo better than most people too. So most, if not all.
Oh, you'll get a kick out of this because you love this shit. He did an interview with Den of Geek, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, the Firefly Funhouse match is very special to me because it was kind of thrown in my lap, and I distinctly asked them, 'What is this?' And they said, 'We don't know.'" So that's basically that was John Cena's notes for the Firefly Funhouse match, Tony. What is this?
Should I
We
get
don't know.
that? Should I get that gong that Michael Cole had, and then just ring it every time I go? I was right about Bray Wyatt's character, and that they're screwing things up, and it could have been better. Like,
So let me read this verbatim. The Funhouse match was something I hold very close to me, and maybe that's another 45-minute interview for another day because that was kind of thrown in my lap at the last minute. I remember specifically asking what a Firefly Funhouse match was, and the answer was literally, "We don't know." And in most performers, that would cause panic, but I was riveted by the open feel that we could possibly create something special. And like he said, it took a lot of brave folks and a lot of hard work to make something that hopefully the audience understood. And it at least reached one. We reached you, and that's good. It's like, how? How do you? I, I don't understand. You laugh. No, this company makes more money than it ever has before. And yet you're telling your top performer at WrestleMania, we don't know what this is that you're doing.
Right.
What?
I'm not shocked though.
It's insane. Honest to God, we heard the same thing with the Nigerian drum fight, where it's like, what is this? We don't know.
It's not like you didn't have hours or days or weeks or months to figure this out.
It's not like you don't have a pantheon of other gimmick matches that you do know. Why are you just saying words and then going, I don't know?
It's not like you don't have multiple writers as well, where you can't just be like, can this person only work on this?
And then even if you want to say, well, Bruce oversees everything and Vince overrides everyone else. Again, it's not like they don't have pantheons of experience with gimmick matches that they do know. How do you do this?
Like, how far away are we from the Fernum Schnavitz mats?
What are they doing on main event next week? It'll be Ali Ricochet for the Fernum Schnavitz match in the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, they're gonna pick it up at main event. Main events are us.
It's embarrassing to me that this company is just so content. How can you be content?
Yeah.
You used to literally be the hottest property in the world. Remember Beyond the Mat where they're like, oh, us in South Park. Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
that's fucking. Don't you want to go back there? I don't know. I thought you'd get a kick out of John Cena being like, yeah, they had no fucking clue. That's probably why they didn't do it this year with Randy, because they didn't know. They didn't know
Yeah,
it was the first.
they just did another match that they didn't have any idea instead.
Also, are you up to date on any Bray Wyatt rumors?
Not that I'm aware of.
So I'll keep this short and sweet because I didn't know what it was until Sean had posted his own update. There's apparently a rumor from a not reputable website that Bray Wyatt was taking time off because he was having trouble dealing with the passing of Harper, Brody Lee, and I don't want to speculate on that. As best we can tell, it's not true. And Bray Wyatt is just sort of off TV because, duh, like they're just stupid. I think it's a shame though. Like it makes me sad to think for even a second that he would be that sad. You
It
know.
might be, and if that is the case, then he's doing the right thing, taking time off.
Well, I love the Bray Wyatt character, and even though it's had way more misses than hits, I still think it's one of the best things to come down the pike in the last 7 years.
The potential has always been there. I'll say that.
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah. It's never been an issue of potential. And it's never been an issue of just like Bray Wyatt or anything. It's always the flaws in the execution. The same thing with the executioner. The jokes aren't great tonight, I admit it, but you know.
But you're trying, and I know how
Trying to push through it instead of just got an email pop up in the mid of me saying the word executioner, and I'm like, don't tell me that's more shit deleted. But no, it's a comment on the heel and face turn list because I haven't updated that in a little bit, and I'm sure something happened in there. You know,
Jimmy Uso's a heel.
it's people asking about Jimmy Uso, people asking about Shinsuke Nakamura and Baron Corbin. And Natalya and Tamina.
See that, yeah, I'll break that down when we talk about SmackDown.
Yeah, I didn't watch SmackDown yet. Too busy dealing with Google's bullshit. I'll say that, you know. By the way, also, because I just like being transparent on this podcast. Sorry if that annoys you. that I'm being transparent about things like that, where it's like, oh, Tony's bitching about something. It's like, yeah, well, you know what? Part of it's just I want to be real with everybody. I don't want to put on a face and be like, like, well, we're gonna pull an Adnan Vark kind of thing and be like, wow, everybody, what's going on with Smark Out Moments, Smack Talk podcast and whatever, and then just be like, oh god, afterward I'm done, I'm miserable. No, having a bad day. You guys should know about it. Everybody has their bad days. I'm having a bad decade. So, let's go to this topic because I'm already in a downer kind of thing. New Jack has passed away. Age 58. I almost said 85.
Nope, that's another number.
Total opposite. Well, there's no opposite numbers when it comes to that. Unless it's negative. I'm not getting into math jokes here. But yeah, New Jack passing away.
My reaction to this was literally, I have to write New Jack passing away. He doesn't die. Like, I, what? Like, New Jack can't die. Like, I realized very quickly that that's the reaction I'll have with like a Hogan or a Flair. Just like, they, no, they don't die. New Jack, pioneer of ECW in the hardcore style, and you know all that kind of stuff. New Jack, just a legit badass. I believe he'd kill you. One of the very few wrestlers like I just believe would kill you.
Where yeah, we always say the same kind of things when it comes to this kind of thing. Obviously condolences go out to the friends and family and everybody, the fans. I can't personally say I've got a favorite New Jack match or that I was ever a huge follower of his career, but he's one of those guys that everybody knows,
Yep.
For what it's worth, he made a name for himself. Now, a lot of that is negative.
He cut a promo in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I posted this in the Fightful post I did. Okay, it's Smoky Mountain, so it's Kentucky. They are black, him and Mustafa. And he said the words, "Shout out to our homie OJ. Keep up the good work. That's two more we don't have to worry about." Can you imagine like saying those words in '94?
Saying it now?
Well, I mean, even then,
Yeah, I
at the
mean,
height of the trial.
saying it at any point, not a good thing, but yeah, New Jack, he was a character, that's for sure.
Fucking credit to him for just saying that shit, you know?
He was always seemingly true to himself, for better or worse. And I didn't read any of the things about like people mentioning, their, RIP type statuses and whatever on Twitter. This is a story that came around when I was just busy doing other things. But we always hear a lot of New Jack stories. I'm sure we're gonna hear some more.
For all intents and purposes, he seems like a good guy. You know? He seems like somebody that a lot of people got along with. And I'm sure he just took no bullshit off people.
Yeah, so RIP New Jack. Not a story we like to report on whenever this happens. More so, hey, a trademark for whatever, that kind of thing instead. Let's talk about fans coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Supposedly, WWE is aiming for a return for fans to come back in arenas on July 16th, which is 2 days before Extreme Rules. So that Friday Night SmackDown.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm of two opinions. Thank God we're seemingly getting back to normal. And oh God, don't tell me everybody thinks we're getting back to normal.
Yep. I can't say it any better myself. I'm not usually at a loss for words, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic and trying to prepare for the worst because I'm a guy who prepares for the worst, hopes for the best, expects something in the middle. And I can't help but to think that based off of the things that have happened in the past year and a half, or year at this point, that things aren't going to be like, okay, well, everything opened up and then we have another spike and then everything has to shut down again, because that seems to be what happens all the time. Eventually, at some point, that has to stop. Just pure math,
Right.
But with more and more people vaccinated, then maybe that changes things up. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. The doctors probably don't even know either. Eggs are good. Eggs are bad. Don't drink milk. Drink 1%, 2%, whole milk, skim milk, fucking octopus milk. I don't know.
The myself and the current lady that I am speaking to spent the entire evening making cow puns back and forth. Maybe I'll send that to you later just to cheer you up. It was just straight up just holy cow, that was long. And by the end of it, it ended with me going, "Yeah, I've really beaten these puns into the ground, beef." It's just like that's where I'm at. That's my version of flirting, folks. That's why I'm painfully single.
I mean, somebody out there, is gonna move your way.
Yeah, it was a lot of that. There was a lot of that. And there was I'm over the moon, just a lot of just dumb shit.
Yeah, I'm hoping July 16th means that Extreme Rules, we got some fans and that nothing negative comes out of this. And obviously, then of course, things keep going forward and keeps getting better, and uh, we'll see. It's good that they're planning for it at the very least, because if things do get better, then they can. There's nothing going to stop them from doing this in the future if everything goes back to normal. They're not going to be the one holdout, that's for sure. Baseball doing it, and hockey's doing it, and football's doing it, and soccer's doing it, and UFC's doing it, and AEW's doing it. WWE is not going to be like, well, we'll stand by and we'll hold on. They're going to want the tickets. They're going to want to be like, we're back and everything's back to normal, and people will cheer for this, so we don't have to put any effort into it, like that kind of thing.
Right. I'm hopeful. I think they should just wait for SummerSlam though. That's the stupid purist in me being like, SummerSlam is the big event, and you should just do it at SummerSlam. I don't think Extreme Rules is important. You gave us a fucking horror show last year.
Yeah, maybe they don't do that this year. Maybe that's going to be tied into the thing. Extreme Rules, like in this match, you have to go into the crowd. Everybody's just like, I don't know.
How much more extreme do you get than a COVID-19 exposure match?
Right. I don't even know how to formulate this. I'm trying to get some kind of a pun with pandemic and pandemonium. Fill in the blank yourself. I don't know. My brain's too fried. Something about a cow. Let's move over to the TV
really
talk.
Raising the stakes for that match.
Yeah. Let's reveal some of the things that have happened there tonight. Veal is so good, by the way.
Best.
Things on Raw, we got Asuka, Mandy, and Dana beat Flair, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler because Alexa Bliss can apparently control Shayna Baszler's legs.
We talked about this on the review, right?
I think so.
I don't sometimes I don't know what's said just in
Yeah.
our bitch sessions and in our actual podcasts, but I'll keep it short and sweet. Alexa's winning those tag titles with a doll at some point. And I don't know how I feel about that. Alexa is the Fiend now, and I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm not into it, so I guess we'll see how that plays out. We did talk about it, how I thought that might factor into Charlotte Flair for this weekend. Jinder Mahal beat Jeff Hardy, RK Bro and New Day. Yeah, Veer and Shanky are there. They get their introduction.
Shanky? Who called it? That's right, this guy. I told you all Shanky Mania was gonna run wild, and I'm already right.
In 2 years, when we get Shanky against Bronson Reed, you're just gonna blow your lid.
I know. Look at Bronson Reed. North American title still a cage match.
Coming up next week?
Yep.
We'll talk about that a little bit. I think we kind of talked about everything on Raw, if I remember correctly. Because we were talking about the options of like adding a match for the US title, then
Yeah, like if
Carrillo's
you want to hear
injured.
what we said about Raw, or what we said about Raw, just check out the WrestleMania Backlash preview show.
You know what I'm not a fan of?
A lot of things, but what are you specifically referring to?
When Down Below gets a little raw.
Oh, dude, that's the worst. Like, when Down Below gets a little raw, how can you possibly be expected to go 3 hours?
And when you're in that kind of a scenario, and we're not talking about Australia, we're talking about trimming things up a little bit downstairs. And that brings us into our discussion point for this. We're talking about Manscaped. Support for Smark Out Moment is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. They are offering their precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and that's why we're throwing our puns out there to go along with that. Talking about their fourth-generation lawnmower trimmer that we had mentioned before. If you have no idea what we're talking about, the last couple of things we've talked about this, we're going to keep talking to you a little bit about it here and there because we've got a promo code going on right now with them. An exclusive offer of 20% off and free worldwide shipping if you use the code SMARK, SMARK, at manscaped.com. And you can get all sorts of different products that they've got going on there. If you browse their website, I'll bring it up right now really quickly. I have personally used the Lawnmower 4.0. Rob has the 3.0, and we give our thumbs up for that. Now, have you tried any of their other stuff? Their ball toner or
So
their weed whacker or anything?
I do have the ball toner and the crop preserver. And here's the thing, you don't want swamp balls. We were talking about the horror show Extreme Rules. You had a swamp fight in that pay-per-view. You don't want a swamp fight going on in your pants. Swamp balls, no fun. You gotta get the ball toner. You gotta get the ball wash. It all legitimately works. It all balances out. Got a special formula to take care of the pH balance. That really works, and that really is important. And on top of that, they have like great, just straight up grooming products. The nail kit, the nail clipper, I use it weekly. It's a great nail clipper. They have great stuff for the weed whacker for your nose. You don't need crazy nose hairs coming down. And if you've seen me, you know I do have a lot of hair on my face. Can't have it in your nose though. That's just it's uncomfortable for all involved.
It's just going to get some kind of signs from old school episodes of Ren and Stimpy, you know, that kind of mentality. So trim yourself up, get yourself groomed, check out their advanced skin safe technology to make sure that, you know, you can be confident when you're using this stuff that you're not going to start uh, trimming the hedges like Wolverine's going at it, Edward Scissorhands style. And if you're checking this all out on manscaped.com, remember, of course, use that code SMARK, SMARK, get your 20% off and your free shipping and unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Your balls will thank you, and I will as well,
And you know what they
personally.
say, Tony? If you do a little trimming, the mango tree looks longer as well.
That's what my gardener says. So check it out, everybody. And thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this. So getting back to this, let's talk about some other TV talk stuff that we got going on. NXT, we got Karrion Kross beat Austin Theory, MSK beat Breezango, Pete Dunne beat Leon Ruff, who was trying to get a match and he wasn't allowed to because he wasn't medically cleared, or he was medically cleared, but Regal still didn't want him to. Raquel beat Mercedes Martinez. We got our introduction truly to Isaiah Swerve Scott's faction, is Hit Row. Good name.
Yeah. How do you feel about the way it's all shaping out?
I'm not loving some parts of it, but I'm on the train.
I like the name VFAB. As I like that we're going back to
Characters.
yeah, I really do. I think names like that work better than for example, like Sasha Banks. That's a character name. She's the baddest bitch on the block. You know, she makes the money, she makes the bank, she's maybe wrestling's version of Hillary Banks. I don't really know, but that works. Bailey, I've never really gotten on board with because it was
Paige,
just
you know,
like Paige or like uh, even Naomi or Cameron. Like those names didn't work as well for me, but like a name like BFAB,
yeah,
yeah, I can get behind that. Like she's a fucking badass bitch. You know, like BFAB, kind of like how you once upon a time you had Lita and China and um, Medusa, Alundra Blaze. Like, yeah, I can get behind that. I like the whole crew. They look like a good faction. They're very photogenic together.
I don't love the Top Dollar stuff as much, like the Who Hotter Than Top Dollar, Nada or something. That's not working
Listen,
for me right now, but maybe it'll grow on me.
listen, he needs to start selling those most wanted treasures for top dollar because he don't like that. That show is very stressful.
I still have only watched the two of them. I'm behind on that. What was the most recent one?
Um, Booker T.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Booker one.
So, you
It's
know
on the
what?
DVR.
We'll save it for when you do watch it.
Cameron Grimes was outbid for a house auction by the $1 Million Man. Loving these little kind of skits.
They're so good.
We
That
got
damn Ted DiBiase.
who was it? He bid like $20 million for it or something.
Yeah.
Uh, we got Kyle O'Reilly against Oni Lorcan. We got some other, kind of stuff going on with Bobby Fish helping them out and them agreeing to just go their separate ways. And that's cool.
Yeah, he said he's got a score to settle, and I'm like, with who? You've been gone for 4 months. Who are you gonna fight?
Was Lorcan and Birch the last two that had fought Bobby Fish? I don't
It
remember.
was the War Games match.
All right,
So
so
technically, yeah,
yeah, I guess so.
because it was them, Danny Burch, and
McAfee.
McAfee, who's now a SmackDown commentator.
Yeah. And we got the 2 out of 3 falls match, Kushida retaining over Santos Escobar.
That's the first time that the Cruiserweights main event did anything.
Might be, yeah. Well, except for 205 Live. That doesn't really count.
Good for them, you know, proving that they can do it.
On the NXT UK side of things, the only real thing to talk about is that the replacement for Zaya Brookside was Miko Satomura, who won. So we're getting a rematch.
I don't like that.
Me neither. I was thinking that it was going to be Priestley.
Yeah, you just don't need to do. You just don't need to go through these hurdles. You know what I mean? Like
It's
it's Mako
stretching
Satomura.
shit out as long as you can, It's how do we do the match, but then do the match again? Well, we'll do the match, and then we'll do a bunch of weeks of setting up that they win a chance to win the match again, kind of a thing. And it's just killing time, and I don't like that.
That being said, their first match was legitimately a match of the year contender for me. So this should be good.
Hopefully, it will be. I'd like to see a new champion as well.
NXT UK is probably the biggest sleeper show in wrestling. It's so good, but it's also NXT UK, so nobody's watching.
Yeah, I'm usually about half asleep when I'm watching it. Oh, Dynamite. We got Yuji Nagata failing to win the IWGP United States Championship.
Great match.
Young Bucks making SCU no longer be a tag team anymore.
Great match.
Cody Rhodes cuts a promo that a lot of people are pissed about in regards to challenging Anthony Gogo to a match at Double or Nothing.
Give me your quick thoughts.
Very quick thoughts were it's a hell of a lot better than the No Regrets promo. He's got passion behind it. I didn't see personally anything really wrong with it, but then again, I'm not in the position to be upset with it like some other people are too.
Yeah, you're right. You're right there. Like I thought he was doing the best he could. He believed what he said, but if people were hurt, people were hurt. You know.
I'm kind of annoyed that the Casino Battle Royale has Christian Cage and Matt Sydal in it and question marks for who else, because I'm like, well, why is Christian not fighting somebody on Team Taz after feuding with them? And instead, Hangman Adam Page is fighting Brian Cage, which we've seen already.
Because we're stretching it out.
Not a fan of that. Should have been Cage against Cage. Paige should have been in the Battle Royale.
You never know. I mean, they could do Kid versus Kid at like a Fighter Fest or something. I feel like they're just trying to stretch things out.
Yeah, we know that Ricky Starks is injured as well, so the
Yeah.
original plan probably would have been Cage against Starks. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about that a little bit more with Double or Nothing. We know that Double or Nothing is going to be Kenny Omega against Pac against Orange Cassidy, triple threat. We'll talk about that again a little bit more when we get into that. MJF and Pinnacle are going to have another match against Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle. This one's going to be Stadium Stampede. We had a water cannon thing going on. Thumbs up. I mean, I'm excited for the match. The segment, I mean, it's like, thumbs up.
Stadium Stampede, I feel like it has to be too comical, but I guess we'll see. I like the stipulation that if the Inner Circle loses, they have to split, but we'll see where everybody ends up.
And Miro won the TNT title.
That was a great match. Darby Allin is one of the most believable wrestlers ever, and Miro catching him on the coffin drops and ragdolling him. What a great utilization of Miro. Thumbs up all around.
That was the best suicide dive I've seen in years.
It was delivered with such intent. Such, like, I fucking hate you intent.
It was a suicide dive, like a real, like, just, well, whatever happens, happens kind of a thing. So that was fun. Glad that Miro won the title. Gives him a little bit more of a boost of credibility. So thumbs up on that one. And I honestly did not see a minute of SmackDown. I'm going to have to go back and check that out. But apparently the tag title switched hands and Natalya and Tamina are tag team champions.
Correct. And who do you think took the fall?
Baszler. No, wait. Tamina pinned Jax.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Tamina pinned Jax. I'm winning in Fantasy League. We are one show in and I'm already winning. But.
Well, it starts at Backlash.
Shut up. No, it doesn't. It started right now.
No, it starts at Backlash, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, come on.
I don't remember 100% for sure, but I'm pretty sure it starts at Backlash. I don't know. Callum will fill us in on that.
Damn it. I thought I was winning.
Nah.
All right. Never mind. But they won. Jimmy Uso came out wearing a tank top that says he's nobody's bitch. Roman Reigns cost Jimmy Uso the main event against Cesaro by DQ. Jimmy Uso was pissed. And Roman Reigns must be listening to Smark Out Moment because he said what he meant and meant what he said. He said, people don't care about these stupid matches on SmackDown. It's the big money matches where people care, and that's where our money is made. Never mind the DQ tonight. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of ways.
There you go.
So that's the TV talk for the week, and that's
pretty much
hot tags. Yeah. So.
All right.
Any other things I'm forgetting about or overlooking or anything?
They trademarked a few wrestling names like Miko Satomura, Nathan Frazier, Bailey Matthews, all that stuff, Teoman, and they trademarked the phrase, "There's never a bad time to have a good time." Which I assume is the tagline for SmackDown.
Are you ready for a bad time? It doesn't really work out.
No, are you ready for there's never a bad time to have a good time, so are you ready for a good time?
And the other stuff that happens in some fashion, we'll talk about it at some point if we've still got a channel and a website at that point.
We'll still have a channel. We just won't. We might not have a website.
Knock on whatever wood you got. Hopefully it's trimmed with Manscaped. And hopefully we got some good news when it comes to that. If not, then I'll post in some fashion on some website when I find something out in some way. I'll let people know. But yeah,
I'll toss out my plugs real quick. Follow me everywhere at Dude Felice. That is DUDEFELICE. You can check out what I'm doing over at Fightful.com, Fightful Select, Fightful Magazine. There's that now, and I've written some answers for the mailbag there. So yeah, I'm in a magazine sharing writing space with Matt Cardona. What is my life like?
Pretty neat.
That is pretty neat. So yeah, check all that out. Check out the retro content with 2001: A Wrestling Odyssey. Check out our sister site of Fanboys Anonymous, which is also having the same nonsense happen to it. But you can check out the cool A Review to a Kill podcast over on our YouTube channel and our podcast feeds. And yeah, that's it for me.
And check me out at Tony Mango and hopefully these other sites and do all the things I mentioned about earlier. And stay tuned because if all things work out, we'll be having a post show live after the WrestleMania Backlash pay per view, where we'll be talking about everything that happens on there and giving our review and our thoughts and everything else that we do with that. And then next week, rolling along with whatever we end up doing with that. So just kind of hang around here and we'll be seeing you when we see you. This has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out.